Welcome to the studio. It's Froyle here and I am so glad you've joined me. Today we're creating with beautiful, rich, lavish colors and I'm using leftovers. Now these are the palettes that I've used before. I'm on a series of paintings creating with the Color Cube Challenge. It's been so much fun. I've got little pieces of leftovers and I'm determined today to use them on another canvas. So these are the colors I have. I've got crimson, blush, orchid, purple, mulberry, copper and bronze. And if you have a look on my sheet here, the letters next to the color name is actually the different pouring mediums. I've been experimenting with different pouring mediums. It's been so much fun. I have learned so much in such a short time. I thought I was going to do a 30-day challenge, but oh man, I can't see me stopping anytime soon. I am loving this. I'm using colors I wouldn't normally put together, and the challenge of mixing the colors is a whole lot of fun as well. So I've got a few different pouring mediums. I've got some of the US Floetrol. I've got some mixed with the Jo Sonja pouring medium, and I've got some with the Liquitex pouring medium, some with the US Floetrol and some with the Australian Floetrol. Yes, it is a bit of a mix and it's highly risky. Very experimental and it might all go to custard. I'm not sure really if it's going to dry without cracking because all of the mixtures of the paints have different pouring mediums in them. But it can only not work. And if it doesn't work, we'll paint over it or we'll add collage. Collage covers a multitude of sins. Now I have an idea for my fluid art technique today. I'm wanting to separate off a section of my canvas. So I've put this blue low tack tape or painter's tape on my canvas and covered this section here. And what I'm thinking is pouring the beautiful paint on, and then at some stage, I'm not sure when, I'm going to pull the tape off, and when it's all completely dry, I'm going to add a stencil, one of my stencils, into this section. Because when I try to add a stencil on top of a completely painted fluid art painting, it's also beautiful, but very, very busy. So I find the stencil gets lost. So here's my idea. Disclaimer, I haven't tried this before, so I'm not sure if any of this is actually going to work, but it's an adventure. It's a mighty fine adventure and I absolutely love experimenting. So some of my colors, I only have a very small amount. Like this fabulous purple, there's not a great lot of it, so we'll just tip it on like that and leave the cup standing there. The blush color, it is beautiful as well, but same thing, it really doesn't have a whole lot in the cup. Look how glorious those colors are together. Oh, love it. I would never mix the pink with the red, but when I did it in a recent painting, it looked beautiful. I've got some of this mulberry color. I'm going to add some down here. Now my idea is this beautiful color flow will go across my taped out section. I really hope it works. It's just an idea. I have a new brilliant idea every day. You've got to try these things. Right, that one's empty. It's a great way to use up the leftovers. That one's empty. And I've put 3 of the colors into this fabulous looking split cup. I love this split cup. I've played with it a few times. So I'm thinking, do I want to bust up the purple with it or do I want to put it in? But I'm thinking we're going here. Okay. We're going right here. We're going to swirl it around right over to this other side. That is going to look beautiful. We might even put a little swirly pattern through this color. Empty it out onto there. Oh, the colors are glorious. And then I'm going to add some of the copper or the bronze. Let's start with the copper. We'll add some of the copper in here. And then some of the bronze through here. That is going to be beautiful. Righto, let's give that a move around. see how much of the canvas we've got covered and see how it's going to mix together. I'm really hoping my idea works because I think it'd look great with a stencil down the middle. Just moving my beautiful cups of paint because I tend to knock things over. So let's get it out of the way. Let's see how far this beautiful paint's going to go. Yep, it's going to be just fine. We have a good amount on the canvas. Yay, 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 yay. Oh yeah, that's beautiful, baby. That is just beautiful. Let's go over the side. Take those glorious colours over the side. A bit more over this way. Now, what else do I want to add to it to create some more texture? I'm thinking maybe some of my favourite extra at the moment is the fabulous Liquitex spray paint. I love this so much. It's an acrylic spray paint, so it's compatible with acrylic paints. I love it. Right now, I'm obsessed with it. It's my favourite. Look what's happening there. Why is that happening? I don't know. So you can put it in a cup and put it on the painting, but what I like to do is just spray it on. Yes, you do want to make sure you're in a ventilated area because it is acrylic based and it is low odor, but it does still have a little smell. That is looking beautiful up there. I'm thinking I need some more for my corners, but we've got no more of the dark purple. So let's add some mulberry in here to cover this corner. We've got to have that covered. And let's add some of the red onto here. Whoopsies, probably didn't quite need that much to cover that corner. That is looking fabulous. I think I'll just empty out the mulberry colour. And how's my spray paint looking? It's looking rather beautiful. Right, which way did I like it? I think I like it better up the other way again. Now that we've got all the corners covered, let's have a little play with the composition. Now, I'm not sure when I'm going to actually take that tape off it. Probably not until it settles a little, dries a little bit. Otherwise, it'll just run over the canvas anyway. Right, how much paint have we got left on this canvas? Still a fair amount. Let's tip it down here. I like to move it around so that the fabulous spray paint spreads out because it creates the most amazing textures. I'm loving this pattern. I love the textures. It's looking very dramatic, exactly what I wanted. And I think I'm almost done because I really think I want to leave it alone. I've got my swipe mix, but I don't think I want to add swipe to it because remember, I'm putting a stencil down the middle and I think it would be better if I leave more space than take it all up with textures. Oh man, I managed to miss this section up here. So I'm just going to add some on the corner. I've picked up the pink. Why not, I say? Why not? And I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'm just going to let it settle and maybe I'll wait on pulling the tape off until it's a little bit dry. Beautiful colours. I'm so happy with the mix. I hope it doesn't all crack up on me being all different pouring mediums, but we won't know for a little while. So the painting is looking absolutely beautiful, but then I decided to add a swipe and I'm using Amsterdam bronze mixed with the Australian Floetrol straight across the lavish layers of thick paint. What can possibly go wrong? It's going to look so beautiful. Now, when the painting had settled down and it was a little bit drier, I decided to pull the tape off. Yes, I was busting. I just couldn't wait any longer. The paint did bleed a little bit under the blue tape, but that doesn't really matter because I'm going to paint over anyway. I think it's a great idea. It's really fascinating to me because now I've got this beautiful white blank space that I can put something else on without trying to fight with the busy background. So first of all, I tape off my wonderful clean white section just to make those lines a bit straighter, and then I'm adding some alizarin crimson hue, a beautiful deep red color because I want the base coat to match in with the rest of the beautiful painting, and I know this color is going to really work well. Now, when that layer of rich redness was dry, I put some brown paper along the edge, pulled out one of my favorite stencils. This is my own personal script design, and now I'm spraying it with the Liquitex acrylic spray paint. Love, love, love this spray paint. It's got a beautiful iridescent antique gold richness, and then you see that fabulous red coming through. It's also beautiful and opulent. These are my favorite colors in case you haven't noticed. The spray paint is working absolutely fabulous, and I even take the stencils around the sides. I love finishing the sides off with the same paint color as the top because it gives it such a beautiful finished and professional look. So now the stencil's been sprayed, the colors look beautiful. Time to take the paper off, take the tape off, and let's see how it looks. Did my brilliant idea actually work how I had in my mind? I'm thinking it looks pretty dramatic, pretty interesting, and it's been a whole lot of fun. Right, so I absolutely love the way this is dried up. I love the imprint of my stencil in this section. It looks stunning. I'm really excited about the experiment of putting the masking tape down there and making that a separate area within the painting. But I want to add another layer. I want to add a little bit of red coming over there, maybe a little bit of bronze going up there. That's my idea. So I've got some of the Liquitex pouring medium, which I'm using, and I'm going to put some of that on clear. I'm also going to use some of this Naphthol Crimson with the Liquitex pouring medium. Look at this stunning color. I've mixed up some beautiful Amsterdam bronze, again with the Liquitex pouring medium only the pouring medium, because I want it to be quite thin, like transparent glazes or just some areas. And I've got a violet purple mix of two other inks of the fabulous Liquitex brand, and I've mixed them together with some pouring medium. So that's my plan. Let's see how it works out. I want to cover some areas, but not all areas. So that's the tricky part, especially when you're using a medium that is so incredibly fluid, like just the straight pouring medium. It is quite easy to get a little carried away and just cover everything. So I'm going to try not to do that. And I do find that brushing it around can actually help to spread it out so it doesn't just or pour in the areas that I don't want it to be. Now the painting has dried up absolutely beautiful. Look at the fabulous coating with the Liquitex pouring medium and the FW ink pouring medium. You can see the glorious bronze here, the metallic bronze through there, but you may also notice something very disturbing happening in the middle there. I have a Grand Canyon size crack, not just a little Few surface textures, but a whopping big crack right through there. Now, my theory is I was using the FW pouring medium in some of this color. I was also using some of the Liquitex, and I'm feeling that this particular medium doesn't play well with others, and it has cracked because of it. Now, the Liquitex will play with everybody, and I guess that's the point of trying all of these 9 different pouring mediums to see what works well, what's compatible, what doesn't like to play with others. Liquitex really is leading the pack right now, because no matter what I put with it, if it's a glaze or if it's in the pour or if it's with the Floetrol, no matter what I mix it with, it always comes out on top. This one is very fickle. You probably don't even want to bother with it. And then you may not even be able to get it in your country, because I got this from Australia, even though the Daler-Rowney brand is British, I think. But this ink pouring medium doesn't mix well with others. It doesn't like metallic paint, and it didn't even like playing with the Liquitex. So what are we going to do? Well, there's no point having a panic. We can fix anything. So I got myself some liquid glass. Now, I have had trouble with the liquid glass before. It came really blotchy with lots of little crappy bits in it, and I had to put it through a strainer. And being the non-patient person that I am, I found this really irritating to have to do this, and I declared that I wasn't going to use it again because of that reason. But the painting that I put it on dried up so magnificently that, yes, I bought another bottle. And hopefully I shouldn't have to strain this one, because it's just arrived from Amazon and there doesn't seem to be bits in it, so it must be nice and fresh. I guess if it sits around for a while, it kind of, I don't know, man, disintegrates or decomposes or something. And it didn't really come smooth and clean. So I'm not straining it, but it doesn't seem to have any horrible bits in it. So yippee, I'm ahead. I did fuss about the straining in one of my previous episodes, but once I got over myself, I bought another bottle, because it's absolutely magnificent and it does dry exactly as it says, like liquid glass. So I'm hoping that the fabulous liquid glass will solve my problem and fill that crack. Like, you're still going to be able to see the crack, but at least it'll be filled in, you know, like putty filler. You can't get too worried about things like cracks or dings or bang. We're not after perfection. We're not accountants. We're artists, and we're creating unique, incredible, original art, and it's not going to be perfect, however you describe perfection to be. I don't mind the texture. I actually, go out of my way to create texture. In fact, on the next painting, I've created texture with crackle paste. So all of those cracks are on purpose. So what does it really matter if something cracks, when the next painting I purposely put cracks in it? That's how I look at it anyway. I could have probably filled in the colour first. That would have been smart. And then you wouldn't have noticed it more. But I'm not too worried. I'm going to put on this fabulous liquid glass, a nice beautiful coat over the top, which will give all of it an extra depth. Even these areas are going to look more amazing. But if it does worry you if something like this happens, you can fill in the colour first and then put your final coat on. Not too worried about it. It's got such beautiful texture in so many areas. It's going to look fabulous. It does get a little heavy with all these layers, but which is not as much fun for postage, but what does it matter? Most of my paintings, I would say all of my paintings at the moment, are an experiment of one thing or another. And I'm loving the stencil down there. I'm calling it my imprint pause, because I'm imprinting underneath the layers. Oops, before I add more on the top. Flicking it around now. Okay, that's it. Beautiful coat of liquid glass. It is magnificent, and it does work exactly like it says. Liquid glass, when you get it nice and fresh, you don't have to strain it. I think that should work really well. Now, it is a little expensive here in beautiful New Zealand. That's probably the biggest drawback of the liquid glass. Oh man, there's always something. But most of our supplies are expensive here anyway. I think it's totally worth it. It's going to look beautiful. It'll have a magnificent shine on it, and it's the closest thing that you can get to a resin-like effect on the painting. Now the liquid glass has dried up absolutely stunning. Look at the thick, glossy resinous layer on top. It really makes that beautiful bronze pop, and the red is so dramatic. But you can still see my Grand Canyon crack. The liquid glass filled it in, of course, because it's all beautifully self-leveled. It's looking great, but it's kind of annoying me that I can still see it. Maybe I should have painted it in first, but I didn't. So perhaps next time. Decided I'm going to pull out a stencil and one of my favourite colours. This is the Rose Gold Stardust Butter. What an absolute stunning paint. It's a stencil butter. It's beautiful and thick and lush, and it's got this incredible metallic glittery shine to it. I'm using a stencil from PM Artist Studio, and what I want to do is just create another layer of texture. Yes, I'm trying to hide my big crack. Because, oh man, I should have actually filled it in with paint first before I put the liquid glass on, but I forgot about doing that. So I'm putting the beautiful stencil butter over the top. This stencil is a great texture, and I'm hoping that it's going to help cover my big oopsie there, and we'll see how this dries. So then I decide that to balance out the composition, I'm going to put the stencil on in the bottom right hand corner of the canvas, because I absolutely love the color of this stencil butter for a start, but also the pattern is so interesting that I want to carry it across the canvas, and I think that's going to be better for the composition. Going to look beautiful. I'm loving all the multiple layers, and really it's the only way to learn, even when you do mistakes or something goes wrong. I mean, now I know about that pouring medium. I won't be using those two together again. The stencil's looking absolutely fabulous. Look how beautiful the painting has come up. It's all dried now. It's looking glorious. All of those beautiful multiple layers. You can see the underneath colors and the swirling paint. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It's what you call a multiple layered mixed media painting. What do you think about my beautiful painting? I absolutely love it. It's even hanging up the back. That's how much I love the painting. Put a string on it, hung it in my studio. It looks fabulous. It's so rich in color and texture. Thanks for joining me today. I hope I have encouraged you, given you courage to push on when something doesn't quite go to plan. Have some courage to try some different ideas, experiment with the beautiful layers and the mixed media. It can only not work. But don't let that stop you. Try again with something else, and the lessons you learn really are invaluable. Now you can find out more information in the description under the video if you want to have a look at the colors or the mediums, or where to get the different art supplies. You can also find out more about who I am on my website, froyalart.com, and I hope you're going to come back and join me again next time in the studio.